Good morning, class. Today we are going to see the next poem in our unit, that is The Road Not Taken. Now, this is a poem written by Robert Frost. It reflects on how the poet made all the difference by choosing the road which was less traveled. Children, this is a symbolic poem in which the image of two roads means availability of two options, and taking the less traveled road stands for opting a rare path or a choice. So let's go through the poem and see what poet has to say. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry, I could not travel both. And we one traveller, long I stood, and looked one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now, here the poet begins with the poem describing a point where he reached a fork in a yellow wood. He regretted the possibility of not being able to travel on both the roads. You can have a look in the picture, children, see how the two roads have been shown. Okay. Now, he's confused like whether I should go on this road or I should go on the other one. He regretted the possibility of not being able to travel both the roads, and standing all alone at one point, he looked as far as he could see and noticed that the roads were bending into the dense forest. Okay, so yeah, he tried to look where as far as he could see at the end of the road, and he learned that it would only go deeper into the forest, into the dense forest, children, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Now, undergrowth here means, since it is a forest, children, undergrowth stands for small shrubs or small plants with a lesser height. So they are called as undergrowth. Further, he says, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had worn them really about the same. He saw that one road was grassy and other was worn out. Grassy means like it was a lot of grass grown on the road, and other one was worn out means it has been used too many times. The grassier road appealed to the poet more because he thought it to be less traveled by. Okay, he found that to be more interesting because he felt, okay, nobody has traveled this path. Okay, so this is the absolutely new route, and he was much attractive to go on that, follow that route which where no one had gone. He wanted to walk and see where this road would lead them. Okay, so there he says, he took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps a better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear. He thought this road is like, it seems no one has traveled on this road, and so it is full of grass, so it needs someone to travel. If someone would walk on this, it would also be worn out, but it has not yet. So he wanted to walk on that road which was totally green, though as for that passing there had worn them really about the same. The other one was like many times used by the people, and there was less grass, so that path was known. But he wanted to, now indirectly that means, children, he wanted to try that path which was not followed or not traced by anyone. He wanted to follow that road which was not yet followed by anyone. Okay, so we wait here for a minute, children, and we'll continue after a short break. Yes, class, let's continue with our poem and see where the road had led the poet. And both that morning equally lay in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to the way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Now, here the poet is saying, as he walked further down the road, he realized that it was equally traveled. As he was like, he had decided, I would go on that grassy road. So as he was walking on that grassy road, he realized that, okay, this also looks equally good, same as the other one which was traveled. He wished to travel by the other side too. He said, I wanted to go on the other side too, but we cannot do that at a time, na? So we have to make one choice only. He wished to travel by the other road too, but knowing that how one way leads to the other. But he was very sure that once he walks onto it, you keep on continuously walking somewhere or the other, and you go on moving ahead, and then one road leads to the other, and you get moving further in life. Okay, so he was very sure that once I take whichever path I take, it is going to definitely going to connect me to the further path. So he's telling, as one road leads to the another. Okay, so he was doubtful about ever coming back. So he said, I am not sure whether I will be ever able to come back. Okay, and yet knowing how the way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Okay, then he says, I shall be telling this with a sigh. Somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less travelled by, and that has made all the difference. Robert Frost. Now, here he says, he's concluding his poem. He's saying that in the future he might tell his story with disappointment. Here, he has used the word sigh. Sigh means disappointment. Of how two roads diverged into the yellow woods. He selected the one less traveled by, and which made all the differences. Now, differences, children, can make the positive ones also, and it can be the negative ones also. Ultimately, this poem means when you make a choice which no one had ever tried, okay, the outcome may be entirely different. Like, it may be positive also, and it may be the negative also. That is the meaning of the line, and that has made all the difference. That means he chose to travel on the path which no one had traveled, and this could be bring changes in his life in the positive manner, or it could land him into difficulties also. So he says, whatever decision I make, this is a symbolic poem, children, where through symbolic things he's telling us ki our choices will determine our life, whether it is going to be easier one, or it is going to land us into the difficulty. That is the meaning of the poem, children. That is what the poet is trying to convey through it. So here he ultimately says our choices matter a most, what type of choice we make, and our life will go according to the choices that we make. Okay, hope everything is clear and everyone has understood the poem, children. Thank you.